Hey you guys, welcome to Southern Latitudes. It's Robin and Destiny's behind me, and we've been going round and round for about 3 hours tonight. But anyhow, it's all good, and we'll be back to the garden in a second. Hold tight. Good morning, friends. I hope you enjoyed that little intro from Halloween evening, and I had such a blast out there, putting a lot of smiles on a lot of kids' faces, and it was great. And yeah, yesterday, Monday morning, I woke up and I was like, I got so much to do in the yard, and I was like, oh my ankles hurt so bad from going round and round. And the last time I did it in horse boots, not horse boots, like barn boots, Ariats. And I was like, this time I'm gonna get smart. I'm gonna wear my like gym sneakers and stuff like that. Oh, it didn't make a difference. When you're doing that for hours, it's still pretty hard. So I took yesterday off, and today we're gonna finally get to projects. The weather is still just as beautiful. You can still hear the cicadas. Sorry, sorry about that. But we have a couple different projects actually in line. So actually, before we go to that, let me share with you that last week, the salsa garden was my project while I was just kind of moving slow and getting back into stuff. So I had retrimmed the tomatoes, and then I put myself literally on the ground and I weeded between all of those onions and peppers. And so you'll see, I have two pictures for you. Look at what he's doing. No. Let me put that up. So I have some pictures for you. One is the before of the salsa garden with all of the weeds in between the rows and in between each one of the plants. And then you'll see an after one, and it's all cleaned up. And then I think it was that night or the next day, I went ahead and fertilized that. Now I don't fertilize a lot of things. I try to just keep with the mushroom compost, but I am very guilty of using ammonium sulfate for my onions. Well, all the alliums, but this year I'm not doing garlic. I'm just doing the various large onions this year, and the bunching, but the bunching don't need ammonium sulfate. So let me go ahead and show you what the state of it is this week, because you saw last week's pictures, and this week it looks pretty much the same. We had a big wind storm. Well, the front came through and brought a lot of rain, which was great. The onions look like they already grew another inch or two, but I got to pull that branch up. My Jimmy Nardello is red down there. I need to pick that. All of these black ground covers, they all are cleared off and ready to go. I even threw in some winged beans, the ubizan, or however you say it, winged beans, just in a little, right there, in this section right here. And then of course I have my cucumbers, not too many, but I have some for fall. And then up here, that's project number 1 or 2, and I need to get some snow peas in here. I did start some snow pea seeds, some Alaskan pea seeds, and they are right over here. They've just broken ground, and they don't really like being in here. A couple of them didn't take, but the seed was very old, so I'm impressed that even this many did. So I may just transplant them so they just can get right into the ground. I don't know if you remember, just a couple of videos ago, I restarted all my winter crops. And like, I'll just go through them real quick. This is the snow crown cauliflower, Godzilla broccoli. My leeks are, and I only had a few of those seeds. My leeks are just coming up now, which is great. The bright light Swiss chard, you can clearly see the red express cabbage. I got some in there. There we go. Dead on cabbage, which is sort of like a green cabbage with purple vines. The early golden. Is it early golden or early girl? I think I labeled that wrong. I think it's golden, and I put girl in there. cabbage is right here. The jade cross, Brussels, restarted all those, got a good show of that. And then the snow peas, or the Alaska peas. I don't know if they're snow peas. So all that's doing fantastic. And so I won't put all of that into containers, but I just want to get this into the ground right here today or soon. I had 2 of my nasturtiums. I found, again, some old seed, a couple of years old, and I was able to get that 2 nasturtiums to come up. Still got to find a home for the strawberries. Let me get out of the light. I repotted the roselle last week into individual cells, and they're putting on their true leaf now this week. I split the celery last week. I have 1 moringa that's coming up. That's doing great. And I'm waiting for thyme, and I'm not sure if these are weeds or if those are thyme in there. Not sure. And then I have some flowers in here, and we may actually get those in the ground if we have a little extra time. But I will tell you that project number 1, I need some assistance with. So I'm waiting for that person to come on out here and come on over here. Let me get in the shade there. And we're going to get the base together over in the other area of the house garden, and we're going to get these stacked. And that'll be a lot of fun. So depending, I may, mix them up. I may not have just one clear project the first half of the video and the other project at the second half. I may just do a little mix and matching throughout the whole day. The weather is perfect. I can work out here for hours. And so let's get to that, okay, you guys? All right, you guys, so Michael and we built this thing once, and it had a tilt going outward and also down this way, and so we rebuilt this side, and then we rebuilt this side, and it's really hard to get 4 pavers completely level with one another, and I don't think either he or I had the patience for that this morning or now afternoon. And so we were very, very close. We're just slightly off now in the opposite direction. We overbuilt it, but we felt like the dirt may settle with some rain, so then we'll be like actually perfect. If you're wondering, this is my extra water drip line, and I sent it up here just to kind of see. I think I'm still gonna have to fill it with a hose, but I just wanted to see if the water will actually travel all the way up into there. I'm gonna definitely have to rework these little sections. Oh, and then after we built it, we moved it to this paver. We like this paver, but then in the end, this paver ended up being more level. Oh, yeah, that was funny. And then I got all the way back to get the water tray, and I realized I didn't put the little gray inserts for the water to trickle down to each section. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to rebuild this a third time. And so I called him back out. I'm like, let's just do it. We can complain about it, but we can just get it done faster if we just do it. And then we can complain later. And he did. He threw his shoes back on, and boy, we went right back to town. We disassembled. You saw that part of the video. And hopefully we reassembled everything right again. And these are my Sweet Charlie strawberries, and they came in from Ison's nursery. And they've been in their trays probably a good 3 weeks now. And there's some of them a little bit crunchier than others. I have some extra replacements if that needs to be the case. I know you can get casters for the bottom. That may be something we do in the end, but now I'm not really sure what we'll do. We can probably turn it by hand. We'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. This is the water reservoir. You put it all in here, and then it goes down, and then on each of the green and on each of the gray trays that are in there, they have little spigots, so make sure you line those up with each of your little cubby spots, and then you'll be fine. And then hopefully we'll be growing real good here, and we'll be having strawberries. It is kind of close to the fence, but I think I could do a net or whatever, or Buddy loves to go after squirrels, so that might be a fun little hobby for him too, to be protector of the strawberry tower. But at least it is up. Jack and I, we did discuss all sorts of areas over there by the house, but we actually plan on finishing the painting of the back side of the house this winter, and we need to pull down this shed. And once the coop is up over there, this coop comes down. So I don't want anything like in the walkway. We're just going to rent one of those dumpsters and just take everything to the dumpster and then have the dumpster taken away when it's all demolished. So if you're new to the channel, yes, this one's going down. That's why we have replacement sheds now for a couple of years. And slowly I've been emptying out things in here, giving them away or whatever, recycling them. So that's pretty much it. We're going to rip that down. We're probably going to leave most of that grass in there. I would like to take a couple feet, if Jack will be on board with that, and make a sweet potato bed here in full sun. Yeah, so, and then this is just already falling apart and down, which hence why I bought the wood a couple months ago. But we're just now getting nice weather and nice days for working outside. If you're you'll understand if you're Floridian, but if you're not a Floridian, just know that we don't do much work in like August. July, August, September. It's hotter than you can imagine out here. And God bless the people who do work in the heat like that, like roofers and stuff. I couldn't do it. And the yard guys and girls. Here's a little follow-up. So the water is going through. It wants to kink in a couple of places, but I can get the water up here. It's popping out of these emitters. Comes all the way up here, and if I tilt it down, it kind of cuts the flow a little bit. It's actually, it can do some water, but it wants to pop up. I don't want that. I don't know. I don't think it's really gonna work. In a perfect world, everything would work. No, I could put an elbow joint in here. I could do that. I could put 2 elbow joints in, one down there and one up here. And then that way it'd have some water flow coming into here. Yeah, that'd be something to think on, and check my supplies and parts and perhaps create that kind of scenario for my strawberry tower. Now that we're done with strawberry tower, I can resume my work back up here in the front, and it's also shady, which feels really good. Now I did just amend the soil about 2-3 months ago, but I'm going to throw just a little bit more fresh compost up there. I already did, I just got to even it out. And then we're gonna put in, We already have beans up here. I think I'll put some flowers up here for sure, and then see what else we end up doing. The ground is prepared. This is my block of dianthus, and I'm just gonna break it apart and put about like 6 sections out here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. It's awfully dirty. I should have swept before I decided to sit down. But I'm just gonna take a few at a time, try to keep the block together the best I can. And then just kind of, can you see that? Stick them right there like that. And this is Rainbow Loveliness Dianthus. There we go. And this should be a variety of pinks, purples, and whites. So there's emitter right there. That should help that one. I don't really know what order or what color these are as I'm putting them in here, but that'll be the fun part of as they decide to bloom over fall and winter. I do think that they needed some room for their roots to go, even though they're definitely not root bound by any stretch. But I just wanted to give them a little chance to grow and go a little bit deeper. I do see the roots are going sideways on this. Yeah, I definitely wanted to do something a little different there. There's my tag, Rainbow Loveliness Dianthus. I started those September 17th. So you guys, it's pretty much done. I have made a drift. I still have yet to tidy up my walkways, but I have made a drift. And so we're going to have the Rainbow Loveliness Dianthus pretty much curve here. We got kind of an arc of it, and then it's going to continue, and then we're going to go into Lemon Bee Balm, and we have some more Dianthus down here, part of the curve. And then I think I told you this, the Dianthus, or Sweet William as it's sometimes known as, it's going to be pink, purple, and white, and it'll come all the way right down here in the front. Then we're going to have some of the bee balm in the next layer, and then I actually put in 2 orange nasturtiums kind of to give a curve. I only have 2 of them, so that's what it is. And then over there on the trellis, we're going to end up having the Scarlet Runner Bean with the red blooms. And that's going to be so fantastic. I may reseed this little section right here with more sunflowers, and we'll see if we can get flowers in before the potential frost. And with the short days, that's kind of a risk right now. May change my mind on that later, but that would be pretty to have the yellow in there. So anyhow, these 3 rows, I did put a little guard up just to keep Buddy off of it, and then I need to weed in there, and so I need to make a better path for him. He will stay on the ground cover if I keep it all nice and pretty and clean for him, and I actually have more over there for him. I just got to move the vine back over to where it belongs. The collards are looking really good, aren't they? And so is the squash. I lost my first squash to whatever, something ate it. But we've got lots of females in here now. This is Zephyr squash. And so it does this little half and half color. Last little job of the day before I go in and edit. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope this seems fluid to you guys once you finally see it. I'm doing my best in the editing room. But this is where I had ginger. And there's a piece of ginger. Yay! The plant already died back. All right, looks like we just got that little piece for right in here. The plant wasn't all that big, but that's pretty cool for me. And I know I've got more coming. But what I'm gonna do is, before I even leave the spot, I am going to break this off, and I am going to create the next spot for ginger for the spring. All right, you guys, well, it's that time of evening. I started early in the morning, and it took me all day just to do a few projects, because life happens and interruptions happen, and that's fine. And it did warm up pretty toasty, which I liked that. That was okay, as long as it's just not like August heat. I don't mind mid 80s or something like that. So the tower is up, and I'm gonna fill it with water. I'm gonna put away all my tools. I got a bunch of flowers all planted in the front. Oh, we got a bird in distress. Before I actually let you guys go, I want to tell you where I left off with the critters eating all the vegetables in this garden, in the house garden. And I did set traps, and I have just a little bit of footage. I caught 2 young rats. They look like mice because they're so small, but they are actually fruit rats. And so I caught 2 of them in the same one trap, and I've caught nothing in all the other traps. I've set off, or they've set off, quite a few traps, but nothing. And that's okay. We'll just keep going, and eventually I'll catch enough of them to knock back the population a little bit, and hopefully I won't have any attacking my strawberries here in a few more months. But it's just little by little, you just keep after it. And of course, hopefully that coop will be down, and then everything will be kind of moved away from this garden, and maybe I can get stuff to grow in here when it's young. Once it gets older and established, I'm like totally fine, and nothing really tears it up in here. It's just when it's really young and tender that the critters go after it. But I couldn't be happier with the tower. Thank you, Michael, so much for helping me. And I can't wait to see, like, hopefully in another month or so, we'll start seeing some of those flowers. If not, we'll definitely see them in the spring. All right, take care, you guys. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.